All right, I think we are live. Hello, hello. This is episode 52 of Change School TV. I'm Salonia, and I am actually tuning in from Amsterdam today. And I've got a very special guest who I'm going to introduce in just a moment, who is dialing in from Spain. So, Sergio, do you want to say hello?
Hello, people. Greetings from
Hello,
Granada.
there he is. Okay, I was like... Amazing. Awesome. So as I said, Sergio is here with us as a very special guest. I'm really excited to have him on the show because I had the pleasure of meeting him just while I was in Spain, and I heard his story. He shared a bit of his personal journey to moving from idea to creating his own business, and I thought it was the perfect kind of Humans of Change, story of change that we always share here. So I dragged him onto the show. I'm so happy he's made the time for us. And so, Sergio, I'm going to quickly introduce you, and then I am going to hand the floor over to you so that you can share your juicy story and wisdom with our viewers.
Great.
Okay, so for those of you joining us live, again, happy Monday. And as you know, we are all about trying to help you reset your mindset and mojo for the week ahead. And so today's story should hopefully give you some inspiration and takeaways that you can put into practice this week. So Sergio is here as our guest. He is the CEO of a company called Arcade Express that sells arcade machine parts worldwide through their physical store, online shop, and on eBay. He's based in Granada, which is in the south of Spain, and the company has been operating for the last 3 years. Now, Sergio is originally from Madrid, but he's been living in Granada for the last 15 years since he first came to study a university degree in the Arabic language. Bit of a left fielder there, and you're going to share a bit more about that in a minute. But he's currently working with 3 other associates, and the company's goal is to bring joy to their customers by making them travel to the past when remembering all the arcade games and machines that they used to play with. And so as CEO, Sergio is in charge of all business negotiations with customers and providers as they work not only with Asian suppliers, but also European companies to make sure that they provide excellent service to all. How was that? Did I do a good job?
Perfect.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right, we are off to a great start. So that was a bit of background, just so our viewers have an idea about yourself and about the business. But obviously that's a bio. No better way to introduce than to hear from the horse's mouth. So maybe you can kick us off by sharing a bit about yourself and a bit more about Arcade Express.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said it. Basically, we started this business 3 years ago, step by step. We started online. We started on eBay. And things started to work. We started selling. Then we decided to open a physical store. One of my associates, he decided to open a store. And how do you say, IT, computer stuff store?
Yeah.
And I proposed to him that selling arcade parts could be, we could try that and see how it goes. And we actually started selling. So after that, things started to grow a little bit more, and then we decided to invest on an online website, good website, and we're selling, which is the objective we had. We're selling, and we hope to sell more and more. And yeah, I mean, that's how the business started running, like that.
Cool.
I don't know.
Cool. So you started online, and then you basically more recently decided to shift offline just because you've had some really great traction, and it seems your customer base has been growing. So that's awesome. Really glad to hear it. Now, maybe let's back up a bit, because I know, at least for me, I remember when you first told me exactly what you do, I was like, wait, how do you even, how do you wake up one day and go, I know this is what we're going to sell, or I'm going to start a business around, arcade game parts. So Can you maybe take us back to whenever this idea came about, and maybe like, you know, what did you study in school? How did you get to this point of idea to starting your business?
Okay. I tell you what, it wasn't a marketing plan. It's not like I woke up and said, what can I sell that is gonna, you know, make me rich, blah, blah. It wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all. No. As you said, I studied Arabic, and which has absolutely nothing to do with this. But after finishing my degree, it's when the economic crisis started in Spain. So it was very, very, very difficult to get a job. And after finishing my degree, I didn't have many options work-wise. One of them would be going to an Arabic country, but I didn't want to live in an Arabic country at that time. It was not what I was looking for. So I decided to stay here. And well, I started working in a bar restaurant, and it wasn't my thing. I didn't like it. So I said to myself, okay, I need to try something else. So I started, I play flamenco guitar, so I started giving flamenco guitar classes. At that time, I was living with a girl, and I didn't make much money. Hopefully, thanks God, she paid for almost everything. So but I made very little money with the flamenco guitar lessons. So one day, I broke my finger, I broke this finger. Yeah, I broke it, so I couldn't play anymore. So I said, what am I going to do now? I need to earn money. And because I speak English, and in Spain, we're not very good with languages, to be honest. And there's a very big market with the English people trying to learn English, especially after the crisis, because a lot of Spanish people had to move outside Spain. So they needed English. So I said, okay, I'm going to try giving English lessons. So I got some books. I started studying a little bit of grammar and giving private lessons. And I started earning much more than I did with the music, much more. So I kept teaching for almost 2 years. I actually did a master's degree after on as an English teacher. Yeah, it was not actually a master's degree. It's called CELTO course. It's a Cambridge course for people that want to teach English to foreigners. And so I did the course, and I kept, you know, I went to an English school to give lessons, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. But it wasn't my, you know, what I wanted the most. You know, like I got to a point where, yes, I enjoyed this, but I have a little bit more ambition. Not money-wise, I mean soul-wise, you know, like I want something else.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened is that one summer, many summers ago, I was at home bored, very bored. And Granada in the summer is a very boring place. It's very hot, super hot. You can't go to the street only at night or very early in the morning. So I was really bored, and I was like surfing the web thinking, what can I do to keep my mind busy, you know? So I went into this website where I saw that people build their own arcade machines, like at their house. And I was like, what is this? You know, it's a dream come true. Everybody as a kid who played in these arcade saloons wanted to have one at home. Of course, it was impossible because the price was prohibitive. It was very expensive. So I decided that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build an arcade machine. So I started, you know, like investigating what I had to buy, the wood, the type of wood, the electronics, everything. And I built an arcade machine with a friend. It took us the whole summer, but it was super fun. We had a lot of fun. And I built the arcade machine, and 2 months after I sold it. I sold it to a policeman that saw the arcade machine, loved it, and he was like, "I want to buy it." And I told him, "Okay, you can keep it," because the important thing for me at the time was being busy. You know, I had a lot of fun building it. So let's keep that aside. So after the English, while I was teaching English, I was thinking, I need something else. I need something else. So while I was teaching, I started to import products from Asia, okay, and try to sell them on eBay. So I decided to start importing arcade machine parts. Why? Well, first because I knew the product. I knew what I was, you know, like. I knew the kind of buttons I had to bring, the joysticks, blah, blah, blah. And second of all, because I remember when I wanted to buy the arcade parts in Spain, it was difficult to get them because there weren't any stores. So I remember I had to buy them from the United States. Another part I had to bring it from Germany. So I thought, hey, maybe I can sell this in Spain because there's a niche, is that how you said it in English? Like there's a space. Where this could work. So I started bringing small quantities. I remember the first thing I invested was like 150 euros, which is nothing. And it sold, and step by step, you know, the money I earned, I reinvested it. And because I was teaching in English classes, I had another job. I could invest the money I earned while, you know, having money to eat and everything. So that's how it started, step by step. You know, I reinvested the money. Each time I tried to bring more stuff, more quantity, and that's how, you know, that's how it started. Like.
I love it. Now, can I ask you a question a bit more on the niche side, right? So like because it sounds like there was a bit of, so I guess when you first started importing, you weren't necessarily thinking about starting a business, right? It was more for your own personal usage. So at what point did you know that there was actually a niche market that existed? Like, how did you know if it was going to be big or small, if it would... Did you think about that, or was it because you're online you weren't too concerned? How did you kind of think about the demand and supply side of things?
No, I did think about that. I thought about two things. First of all, let's see, if I sell, it means people are interested. It's very basic. So, and I sold, and every weekend I would sell, and every day I would sell. So that was an indicator that there was people interested, and not only in Spain but in Europe, you know.
Right.
Like, and the second thing is that the retro stuff, not only in games but in movies and fashion, it's coming back. It always does, but this time it came back very strongly, I think. And I saw that there was a lot of people in their 30s and 40s looking back with nostalgia to that time. And I thought, I can sell nostalgia, you know, that can, you know, emotions. And I saw it. I thought, this is something that is coming back. Hopefully it will last, but it's coming back, and it's going to come stronger. And it did. So that was another thing that told me that there could be a possibility of a business here, you know, this.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. So you kind of sniffed it out. You obviously had a bit of the mind and the nose for a potential trend or something that you were seeing and felt confident was going to grow. So you were able to see the opportunity, right? That kind of stemmed from, I guess, a challenge that you kind of dealt with yourself, and then, you know, extrapolated to go, okay, let's test the market and see. So what then were the sort of risks Did you see any risks? Did you perceive any potential of, let's say, failure or challenges? And how did you look at that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. First of all, the reason why I started online, it's because, can you hear me? I don't know if the connection. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Because I can't. But anyway, I'll keep speaking.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry. It'll fix itself, hopefully. Yeah, that's why I started online, because you don't actually have to invest in infrastructure. So if it doesn't work, okay, you may lose what you imported, but it's not going to be a huge loss. So that was a calculated risk. No, risk-wise, the problem was bureaucracy in Spain. And that's very difficult. Starting a business in Spain is very difficult. It's probably one of the worst countries in Europe in that sense, in the sense that government gives you very little opportunities. You need to pay a lot of taxes. You actually need to pay a fee every month of 350 euros, regardless if you're making profit or not, which for a big company is nothing, but for someone who's starting, it's a lot of money. I mean, right off the bat, you need to pay $400 just as a fee. What is this, you know? Like, in comparison to other countries, that fee is much lower.
Sure.
So at first, I'm going to say this, I don't know what people are going to think, but at first I had to cheat. And we cheat in Spain a lot. Why? Because we have to. It's a question of survival. So,
Sure.
Of course, if I imported maybe 500, 1,000 euros, I wouldn't say in my invoice that I was importing that amount. I had to tell that I was importing a much lower amount, because otherwise it would have been impossible to start the business, you know? I don't do it anymore. I'm 100% legal now.
Legit.
Legit. But I had to start like this, and a lot of people start like this. And that was a risk, because each time I imported, I didn't know if I was actually going to get the product. And at the beginning, it was okay, because it was low, it wasn't much money. But after, I was like quite worried. So I don't know if this is something people are going to relate to. Maybe they were thinking I was going to talk about a different risk, but this was a risk in Spain, actually. That was kind of risky. That was, at the beginning, that was the only risks I found, you know. I had another job. I was living with a woman that was supporting me economically, so I didn't
so you eliminated some of the other risks.
yeah. So it wasn't that risky, to be honest, you know. I didn't have kids, so I didn't have to think about kids, you know. I was like, okay, if it doesn't work, I can do something else. I'm young, you know. I'm flexible. I'll find something else, which was key. That was something key for me, and I think for many people in Spain after the crisis, was learning to be flexible, you know. Like, if this doesn't work, okay, what can I do, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in college, I remember the difference in mindset. When I was in college, I would walk, I was thinking about girls every day. I was walking thinking about girls. After, when the crisis started, you know what I thought? I was walking on the street, looking down, thinking, how can I make money? How can I make money? And I think it was necessity what makes you work, you know, the engine.
Yeah.
It was that, actually. So,
yep.
And yeah, that was the risks at the
yep.
beginning.
No, I love it. And I totally agree. I mean, I always say this as well, right? I mean, I'm a firm believer that, you know, if you think about Jugaad innovation and where innovation comes from, you know, I always believe it comes from when we are pushed, right, to
Totally.
a certain
Yeah, yeah.
point when you're struggling or when you have limited resources. That's when the most creative stuff comes up, right? Because
Yeah.
like it's survival, and then from there it can evolve. So it's like a curse and a blessing. If you already have a high risk situation, it's like you start to perceive less risks, right? Because how much more can you lose? You either put in everything or you don't, right? So in
Exactly.
some ways I think, right?
Exactly.
And
If maybe we weren't in a crisis at that time, I would have decided working for a school where I would be more comfortable. I would have a wage every month. You know, I wouldn't risk.
yeah,
But as the situation was already a very difficult situation where you don't have much to lose, you
yeah,
risk because you don't have much.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Yep. Awesome. So, okay. So you shared a little bit about the business risks that you were going through and how you kind of managed that. So, I mean, just coming back to our title for tonight, right, which is all around how do you overcome self-doubt. So, can
Mm.
you maybe like share an example or a time, even if it was more recent, where you've experienced self-doubt, and what do you do? What do you do when you're in that kind of headspace? How do you get out of it?
Hmm. I meditate.
I do too. Does it always work though?
No, it doesn't. No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. Of course, self-doubt many times, especially in my younger years after college, because um, I don't know. I think that, and I that we come to this world and we learning. We're always in a process of learning, and one of the most important lessons or things to learn is who you are, or what, or try to learn a little bit about yourself. What do you like? What are your passions? What do you want in life? And that's very difficult. It's difficult to learn that. It's not easy. So you're always questioning yourselves. I don't know, maybe there's some people that are very clear on what they want, and I'm very happy for them, but it wasn't my case because I have a lot of passions. So I'm very reflexive, so I'm always like calculating, like I could do this or that, blah blah blah. So I'm always doubting. I doubt a lot. So one of the things that I regardless of what I decide is that I learn is try to stick with my decision. You know, even if I have other ideas, stick with it. Try it for a period of time. Don't change. You know, quickly. So of course I tried many different things before doing this business, and probably I will try more things in the future. Maybe when I'm 40 or 50, hopefully it will last so much, that much. But maybe I'll get to a point where I'm not happy anymore, or I'll change, or whatever. Um, so yes, I had a lot of self-doubt. I tried many things, many different things, like what I was telling you. I tried being after working in a bar. I never wanted to be a bartender. I didn't have a doubt about that. No doubts about that. All my respect to bartenders or people that love doing that. Um, but for example, with the music, I had a very, very, very difficult time with the music because it's something I thought I wanted. It's one of my passions. And then I realized I didn't want to earn a living with it. I just wanted to keep it as a hobby, to have maximum artistic liberty. And that was a very difficult process for me. You know, it was very difficult. And I had a lot of self-doubt at that time. Um, I started 2 master's degree and I left them in the middle of it because I wasn't happy. So imagine leaving a master's degree in the middle of it. It's very difficult when you invest time and you invest money to realize that it's not what you want, to change, you know, at that time. Like, it's difficult to change your mindset and say, that's why we were talking about being flexible, which can also be dangerous.
Yep.
You can finish off by not doing anything, you know, in the end. but it wasn't my case. I was, even though I was changing my mind, I always knew that I was trying things, you know, I was looking for what I wanted or what made me feel full. So self-doubt in that sense, yes. Self-doubt in the sense of my business right now, I don't have it. I don't have it now because things are working. Yep. I don't know in the future, but I don't have it. I'm very clear on what I want of my business, and that this is what I want now, which is a very comfortable situation. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is, you know. But of course, I had my periods of self-doubt. I think we all have these periods of, you know, when we get to a point where we have a crisis, small crisis, but it's periods. I think it's periods, like phases of life, you know.
Yeah.
Phases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what are some, I guess, you know, tips or maybe tools or books or resources, anything like that you would suggest? I know the one thing I'm hearing from you loud and clear, and I really agree, is like try things out, right? If you're not sure, give it a try. And I like this advice because I think at Change School, we are always encouraging people to embrace change, to try new things. But I think there's something to be said of committing as well, which is what you're saying, and really giving it a fair shot, right? Yeah. And maybe it's setting a milestone or a time frame or whatever, but I think that's a really, really good point to make, which is like, don't just change for the sake of it. It's not like, oh, I hate it today, and so I'm going to try something new. Give it a chance, right? Yeah. What else? What are some other things that have helped you, like, you know, when you're working through self-doubt? You know, meditation and giving it a try. Is there anything else that you could share with our viewers?
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't read business books. I haven't read a business book in my life. Never. All the experience I have in business is what I've learned, what I've seen from my family, because my family has worked in business, like as entrepreneurs. And that's it. And negotiating wise, my experience in Arabic country, for example, where you need to negotiate a lot, has helped a lot, actually. I've traveled a lot to Arabic countries. I lived 6 months in Egypt, and every day I had to negotiate. I wanted to buy half a kilo of tomatoes. I would be 1 hour negotiating the price. So that gave me a very good background.
Training.
For negotiation. Anyway, no, I one thought, I really like there's a philosopher I really like called Krishnamurti. And we talked about this before, you know. Yeah. I read a lot about him, and things that I read about him did help me put things or life into perspective. So one thought that it may sound very like, I don't know, a little bit extremist, I don't know, but it's that life is very short, very, very, very short. And at least in Spain, we try not to take it very seriously, you know, because we're going to be here for, I don't know how much time, not that much, to be honest. But I'm saying it in a positive way. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying it in the sense that, you know, try it. This is an adventure, and don't take life so seriously, because at the end, we're going to leave. So that's something that makes me, that's an engine for me, you know, like to live every day, knowing that I have to do what I want to do, following what I want to do, my passion, and with no regrets, because if it doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work. But, you know, if I had 5,000 years to live, maybe I would think things more carefully, you know, because I'm going to be here for a long time. I need to make things well, but that's not the case. So that thought, really, the thought of that we're here for a short period of time is what makes me, you know, say, okay, I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not that such a big deal, you know. Of course, again, I'm talking from my point of view. Maybe someone it's in a different position. They can't afford to have that perspective in life because maybe they have kids or they have another situation, but I can. So that's a thought, you know, that has helped me a lot. And as I was telling you, this guy, Krishnamurti, his books, videos, really helped me put life into a perspective of that has helped me business-wise and personal-wise, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it makes sense. And I mean, I think that's the thing. Something I always say is like, I really believe that being an entrepreneur can be such a spiritual journey, right? Because you learn about who you are, you learn about what you're great at, you learn about what you suck at, and you know, your worldview and your mindset is always going to dictate, you know, in my opinion, whether you know, thrive and succeed or if it's a miserable journey, right? So that definitely makes sense. And I'm going to, for those of you watching, I will post in the comments later on some links to Krishnamurti's books and videos that may be helpful. But thanks for sharing that, Sergio. I think that's a really for sure. So, okay, before we wrap up, because I know I'm taking your time on a Monday, I got 2 more questions for you. Sure. One is, what do you think is next for you? What's on the horizon? What do you think the next chapter could look like, whether it's personal or professional?
Mm-hmm. Well, professionally speaking, we started a new section on the store. It's a new thing. I called my cousin that lives in the north of Spain to come here to help me and work with me because I want him to be in charge of that section. You know how Mediterranean we are. We are like the family business, right? So we're trying to make a family business. And nice. So he came with all his family. We're betting on this new product that I can't talk about. No, it's nothing very secretive. But anyway, it's a new thing that we're starting on the store, and I think that it's going to work, and hopefully we'll sell a lot. So our minds are into that. And also we're trying to get better at all the social media, promoting ourselves in social media with videos and all that stuff. But we have a lot of work. We're not many people, so we don't have much time. That's the thing. But that's what we are into now. So expanding. We're trying to expand the...
Cool.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Yeah, super. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. And I feel very honored that we have your debut on video before you start all of your own video marketing and initiatives. That's awesome. So the last thing that would be great is, you know, where can people find out more about you or maybe about your business? And if you're happy, you know, for any of our viewers to reach out to you, if anyone was really connecting with your story or might have any follow-up questions, how best can they get in touch?
Okay. Arcade Express, that's the name you need to keep in mind. So Arcade Express can be found on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, eBay, and of course our personal webpage. We speak English, and everybody's welcome. We service-wise, we deliver worldwide, everywhere. So if they want to buy something, it's very easy. They just get into arcadeexpress.com and they'll see after I mean, they select what they want to buy, and they'll see the amount, the shipping fees and all that. So we serve worldwide. If they want to get in touch with me, it's very easy through the channels I told you, or
Yep.
or our email, which is info@arcadeexpress.com. Yeah. And if they want to buy through eBay, it's very easy as well. They look for Arcade Express and they'll find the same products as on our online website. Although our online website has cheaper prices because eBay charges you some fees. So to encourage people buying from our website, we have lowered the price. We also have a mile program, is that how you call it? Where you buy something and you get points. So on your next shop, whatever, you get a discount. And of course, if you get in touch with me and say that you come from like you've watched this video, any of your subscribe tell us that they come on your behalf, we'll give them a 10% discount on any of our products.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. All right, guys, you heard it here.
Do that, I don't know.
Well, you guys heard it here first. You Change School, Humans of Change tribe members. If you're watching live, if you're feeling a little nostalgia, if you're longing to maybe build your own arcade, you now know where to go, and you've got a special discount. So I've tagged you, Sergio, on Facebook, so hopefully folks will know how to get in touch with you there. But again, I will add into the comments all the links that you've shared, and where folks can find you, whether they want to connect with you personally or to get into your business and buy some of the stuff that you've got going on. So thank you so much for coming on a Monday afternoon and sharing so openly and honestly. So good to have you. I'm glad we made it happen. I've been hounding Sergio, for those of you watching, for weeks to come on the show, and I'm so happy we made it. So thanks for doing this. It's been great. No, thank you. Thank you. It's so good to have you. So for those of you watching, again, I hope you took away some great insights, some inspiration, and you will have some resources definitely to check out for the week ahead. I hope it's given you some stuff that you can put into action. And as always, please tell us in the comments your thoughts, if you have questions, anything at all. And if you are sort of at a crossroads, if you're thinking about starting a business or you're not sure what direction to go or what your next phase could be, then head over to bit.ly/boldcareer. You'll find out about our course, and you can also reach out to us if you want any more guidance or advice. So that's it from me. Until next week, Sergio, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you so much, and I'll chat to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.